Good evening here at 6 o'clock, everyone. I'm Melissa Swan.
And I'm Doug Profit. Thanks for joining us tonight. Today, Indiana National Guard troops gathered to say goodbye to one of their commanding officers.
Lieutenant Colonel Jim Gentry believed his terminal cancer was directly related to his service in Iraq. And even after death, the 52-year-old Indiana National Guard commander is continuing a fight for his troops through a lawsuit. It is our top story here at 6. Veterans from several wars held the Stars and Stripes as members of Jim Gentry's family. By blood, arrived for a final formal goodbye.
He was a type of person that loved to challenge, loved soldiers, and loved to work with soldiers.
Everybody's good at something, and Jim was just very, very good at military, and he was very good at leading people.
Inside the chapel were many of Jim Gentry's soldiers. Their patches for the infantry and for Indiana worn proudly on their sleeves. Gentry entered the Army in 1981 as an infantryman, and he rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel. He was among the first National Guard troops in this country to be deployed to Iraq, and there he commanded soldiers throughout the country.
What we always talked about was how to take care of the troops and how to fulfill his mission. Never talked about, how he was doing, what kind of condition he was in. It was always how his soldiers were and how the unit was performing their mission.
It was during Gentry's first tour of duty, 2003, that he and other Indiana National Guard soldiers first noticed a yellow substance in the sand near Basra. They were guarding American contractors restoring the Iraqi oil fields. That yellow substance was later confirmed to be a cancer-causing chemical, sodium dichromate.
I mean, Jim is a guy that has never smoked. Most people have habits. I think Jim, if he had any kind of vice at all, it might have been ice cream. And so he took very good care of himself, and he always soldiered up and worked out hard. And
Gentry would later come to believe the sodium dichromate led to his terminal cancer.
I wasn't on the ground with him, but in his heart, he absolutely believed that the exposure caused his illness.
Before his death, Gentry joined in a federal lawsuit against KBR, the American military contractor restoring the Iraqi oil fields. In a deposition given 1 year ago, Gentry blamed KBR for failing to warn the soldiers about the toxic chemical.
We should have been informed.
And less than 2 months ago, Gentry gave another deposition in which his weak voice stood strong for his men.
I would not allow my men to be exposed to that chemical had I been given sufficient warning and known of that danger.
Hey.
In this small cemetery near a small southern Indiana town, the soldiers who honored Lieutenant Colonel Jim Gentry knew that to be true. Currently, 49 Indiana National Guard members have filed that federal lawsuit. They've all joined in. The military contractor, KBR, says its conduct was governed at the time by the terms of the contract it had with the United States military. And the contract required the military to ensure that a work site was benign and free from environmental hazards. That's a statement from KBR. The U.S. military is currently investigating to see if the correct actions were taken in this circumstance. And you can see this story, more on the KBR response, and our special series, Toxic Tour of Duty, from early in November on our website at WHAS11.com.